Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Brian Zaves, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, and today we're at the BF bench with a little table that needs our help. The style could probably be called Danish modern, mostly on account of the color of the wood and all these rounded over corners. The top is a slab made up of pieces that are keyed and glued together. There's about probably 7 or 8 pieces in this top. The leg attachment is very simple. There's a threaded sleeve set down in the wood and a screw on the leg. This is very convenient because it makes it easy to pack for shipping. When the grain of the wood is horizontal like this, it means that that threaded piece has to go through here, and that's a very strong connection because it's hard to break wood across the grain like that. If we go over to this one, we can see that the lines of the grain actually curl up and they're practically vertical at that point, and makes it very easy for any kind of stress to split it apart, and that's what's happened here. The plan is to put a hole in this, put a plug in the hole, and put the sleeve in the plug. So we're going to start off with the plug first. We're over at the Packard 12-speed precision drill press, and I've got a piece of river birch, which is not actually a commercial wood that you'll find in any lumber yard. It's native to Louisiana, and one of my neighbors had to cut down their tree, and I thought, hey, free lumber. Not really worth the effort on the scale that I have to work with it, but it's very dense and very hard to split, so that makes it ideal for this application. And I'm using a 1-inch hole saw with a 1/4-inch pilot bit. And I believe we're running around 2400 RPM. Now before I drill all the way through, I want to swap the bit, because the 1/4-inch pilot bit makes it too small for this little sleeve. So now that I've got that outer ring cut, and I don't really need the pilot bit any longer, I can cut an 11/32 hole in there, which will be good for the sleeve. After wrestling the plug out of the hole saw, stick it back on the 11/32 bit, because I'm going to use it to center up the jig that I used for the next operation. And this is just a piece of a 1/4-inch bolt with a nut screwed up on it. Cut the head off of it. And I can back off the spring tension . And this allows me to put some pressure on the sleeve while I rotate it. And having it in the drill press ensures that it's going to go in nice and straight. keep it from turning. As soon as I chase that down, we'll be ready to put the thing back together. Now I'm going to drill a 7/8 hole. Got it centered as well as I can, and I've dropped the speed down to 450. Now when it comes to putting a cylinder into a hole, you've got a press fit, which means you have to force it. You've got a slip fit, which means it should go in easily. And then you've got a rattle fit, which means that there's plenty of slack or slop. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want anything to be pushing this wood apart. That's part of our problem to begin with. I'm going to be using a 2-part epoxy, which is good at filling gaps. And I'm counting on it to flood all these cracks and splits down in here, and that's why I've got this masked up, to keep the epoxy from running out across the wood. I'm using 5-minute epoxy, which basically means you mix it for 1 minute, and then you've got about 4 minutes before it gets too thick to use. It does not mean that it's achieved full strength after 5 minutes. This is actually going to have to sit, I don't know, experience tells me 5 or 6 hours before I can try to put the leg back in. Work it around. There we go. Now I've got a little jig here which will ensure that it, when the epoxy sets, it's going to be square to the surface here, and my leg will be straight. Now this is set overnight, so it's probably as strong as it's ever going to get. And I neglected a very important detail. The screw, which is just a sawed-off bolt, not only keeps it straight, but it also keeps the epoxy out of the threads. And to keep from epoxying your bolt into your insert, you just simply dip it in the paste wax. This is Johnson's paste wax, which is slowly going extinct. When this can is gone, that's probably the last one I'll ever see. But any other kind of paste wax will do. Well, this is Bronze Age for the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, reminding you that everything in life is a hardware problem. So, thank you for sitting through this video. We appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comments and questions are welcome. I'll respond to all. And again, thank you for watching.